Good evening. Welcome to sports. The first week of high school football playoffs continuing tonight in Lompoc as the host Braves welcoming in Verbum Day. All right, thanks, Dave. We are in Arroyo Grande tonight where the host Eagles were taking on Culver City, the Centaurs. And last time these two met was 1993. It was the CIF quarterfinals. Back then, Arroyo Grande head coach Tom Goosen was the defensive coordinator.
You know, this is the time of year where playoff dreams, well, they live or die for some teams.
They do. As far as league standings go, you know, coming in tonight, we had Arroyo Grande, we had Cabrillo, and we had Lompoc, all still undefeated in the league. And as far as the LPL and Pac-7 title picture, well, it still wasn't really any clearer because everybody's so close right now. Anything could still happen, even with a week to go.
With apologies to Allison Chains, here comes the Rooster, Kevin Roose with the highlights.
Hey guys, Kevin Roose, the Rooster here in Napomo. On my way to the AG St. Joseph game tonight, and I had to stop for a minute because I spotted this on the side of the road. Now, I know this whole Rooster thing is sweeping the Central Coast this football season, but, oh, this is just ridiculous.
Of course, we got the Rooster out of the barn and to Napomo for the action.
Hey, Mike and Joey, Kevin Roose, the Rooster in Napomo, and yes, it's foggy. The Pirates have brought not only their team, but the fog here tonight, and maybe even Johnny Depp, I'm not sure. It feels like Pirates of the Caribbean, though, right now. We're at the first ever Fog Bowl between these two teams, and, well, a lot on the line tonight. The winner moves on to the playoffs. The loser will hope that they can get maybe an at-large bid into the postseason. We'll have to find out this weekend. But in the last 6 meetings between these two, Napomo has won 4 of them, and tonight, Titans hoping to win on their home field. I think it was Neil Diamond that said, turn on your fog lights, right? Or maybe that was Heart lights. It looked like Soldier Field tonight in Napomo. Second quarter, Titans up 14-10. Matt Albright not wasting any time, firing one through the fog, 40 yards, and Luke Nicholson comes up with it in the end zone. No relation to Jack. Titans up 21-10. That's how it would be at the half. Pirates would score early in the third quarter to make it 21-17. Albright in the third quarter here, faking the handoff, and then putting on the moves, scrambling to get out of bounds and picking up the first down right there. Looked like he could have been on Dancing with the Stars this season, and that show could be seen on ABC here on Monday night. Kurt Busch putting him into the wall will bring out the 11th caution, and then on the white flag, the second of the green-white checkered attempts, Harvick goes by Earnhardt Jr. to get the lead, and then Harvick goes on to get the win and then tears up what was left of the tires. Harvick becoming the first 2-time winner in NASCAR this year.
Okay.
And that is sports.
Okay, thanks for that.
You drive like that at all?
Never.
Not in the parking lot?
Never.
All right.
All right, thanks for that, Kevin. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
2009 was the last time Paul Edwards and the Grand Am Sports Car Series competed at the 11-turn, 2.2-mile Laguna Seca Raceway. For Paul, it's a homecoming he's been looking forward to.
It's good. I mean, I wish I could have went back to Santa Maria for a few days and saw some old friends and hung out a bit, but got a baby on the way. So some friends and family came out to this race. It's cool to be back.
It's qualifying day for Paul and the Spirit of Daytona Chevrolet team, but during the morning practice session, both Paul and co-driver Antonio Garcia are having trouble with the brakes.
The team's doing everything they can. We're cursed with this brake issue for the last couple races, but the engineers are going through the data and trying to look for any red flags that might be popping up.
After hours of work, the time is now as qualifying begins. During the 20-minute session, Paul is still struggling with the car's brakes, but he is able to at least get the team a 7th place starting position for the race.
They're throwing a bunch of new stuff on the car again. You know, the team's doing everything they can, and hopefully it'll be good enough to where I can have a solid stint and hand it off to Antonio and have him get us our first podium. So far this season, Paul and the Spirit of Daytona team have led 98 laps in 7 races. Tomorrow they'll be looking to lead the last one. At Laguna Seca Raceway, Kevin Roose, your Central Coast Sports.
In left field, number 19, A.J. Robinson.
The St. Louis Blues baseball team we see today looked a little different 64 years ago when they began as the Slow Merchants. The team was made up of mostly local businessmen who had just returned home from the war.
They were the butchers, the bakers, the candlestick makers for the city.
I was an optometrist, and I got my name on the sports page a few times, and that helped in building a practice because when I came here, I didn't know a soul.
The Blues took on teams based at military camps all over California, along with the Santa Maria Indians and even the Harlem Globetrotters.
They didn't put on a show like they did in basketball. They were pretty straight-laced with baseball. They were a good bunch. They were good athletes.
One of the Globetrotters' stars was pitching great Satchel Paige.
Remember Satchel Paige warming up, getting ready to pitch by taking ground balls at third base and throwing them across the first base.
Despite the differences in the makeup of the team back then, the Blues were and still are a close family.
Personally, it was really a second home for me here.
I just think it's a great opportunity for these college boys to come here and get a chance to play ball every day.
In San Luis Obispo, Kevin Roose, your Central Coast Sports. It's an aerial ballet of kites dancing over the water with a rider on a surfboard attached below. It's the sport of kiteboarding, and it's been around longer than people might think.
It goes back actually like to the 80s. Guys were flying kites with giant water skis and just messing around, and then the late 90s it got a little bit more mainstream.
The riders use the wind to pull the kite and themselves up and over the waves. And although it looks like surfing, kiteboarders actually have more freedom.
It allows for multiple degrees of freedom that you don't have for surfing. Surfing, you're restricted to a wave, whereas kiteboarding, you have an open playing field, and you can ride many different waves, many different places.
From what the experts tell me, compared to surfing, kiteboarding is relatively easy to pick up.
Surfing is, I would say, a very difficult sport to learn. Kiteboarding, my wife really is the epitome of someone that can learn how to kiteboard. When she was 50 years old, she learned how to kiteboard.
And even though it's easy to learn, taking lessons first is highly advised.
It's really not a dangerous sport if you have the previous lessons, but if you go out on your own and try kiteboarding, it can be very dangerous.
In Oceano, Kevin Roose, your Central Coast Sports. Welcome to sports. We started with 68 teams, one of which was Cal Poly, and now we've whittled it down to the Final Four. In today's early game, number 7 UConn taking on number 1 Florida. Take you out to Arlington, Texas. Moment of silence for the fallen soldiers at Fort Hood before the start of the game. First half, DeAndre Daniels calling for the ball, then buries the tray from the wing. UConn trailing 16-15, but that capped off a nice 11-0 run for the Huskies. Gators answering back. Casey Prather spinning and taking it to the rack. Gators back up by 3, and then it's Shabazz Napier, like saying the name Shabazz Napier, driving in, getting the one-handed layup to go. Huskies back in business, up by 1. UConn goes on to pull the upset, beating the number 1 Gators 63-53 now. UConn will await tonight's winner of the Wisconsin-Kentucky matchup to see who they will play on Monday night for the championship. All right, from the hardwood now to the diamond. Santa Barbara City College returned home as they tried to shake off Thursday's loss to Hancock. Vaqueros welcoming in their conference rivals from Cuesta. Right now, Santa Barbara sits in second behind Cuesta, or right behind Oxnard, that is. Cuesta is in last place currently. First inning we go. Cougars already up 1-0. Patrick O'Brien going to rip this one deep into right. That's going to allow the Vaqueros to load the bases. They are in business, but then 2 batters later, bases still loaded. Evan Peterson gets Trey Barrett to go down swinging, and that would get out of the jam there for Cuesta. Move over to the 3rd inning. R.J. Hasse laying down the bunt. He'll get thrown out at first, but Nick Burnham will come in to score. Cougars back up 2-0. The Vaqueros decided to wait till we left the baseball field today before they got on the board, and, they were just shy. Vaqueros would go on to rally back late in this one, taking it to 10 innings as they get the win, 4-3. They now improved to 20-9 overall and 9-6 in the conference. UCSB welcomed in Cal Poly today for a softball doubleheader as the Gauchos look to rebound after going 1-2 against Cal State Fullerton in the Big West opener about a week ago. Game 1 action highlights here for you now. Cal Poly, though, coming in red hot, winners of 13 of their last 16 games. Gauchos looking to stop that run today. 2nd inning, the Mustangs are already up 2-0 when Kim Westland launches it to the east. Of course, I'm directionally challenged, but I know that at least is center field, and that allowed Jillian Anderson to score, and they pick up another run there. They're up 3-0. To the 3rd inning, Anderson's going to rip the grounder right past the shortstop as Courtney Tyler will come in to score. Also, Ashley Torino. Mustangs up 5-0. They went on to put on a hitting clinic in this first game as they would go on to take game 1 14-1. Incredible. Could have used some of those highlights at the other game I went to. Game 2, UCSB, however, rallied back as the Gauchos get the win 2-0. Game 3 will be tomorrow at noon. To the MLB now. Dodgers looking to rebound after yesterday's crushing home opener to the Giants. And look who decided to show up to work on time. It's Yasiel Puig. Shocking. He got late to work yesterday, and they benched him. Fifth inning, Giants up 2-1. Pablo Sandoval rocketing this one out to left, and it's gone. 3-run homer gives the Giants a 5-1 lead. And then moments later, not to be outdone, Buster Posey launches one a country mile. Not really sure how far that is, but it's far. That went out to left, and the Giants were up 6-1, and then it was just all Giants from there. They go on to get the win. 7-2, which I know makes you very happy.
All right, I'm very excited. That game yesterday, though.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of like today's game, pretty much all one-sided.
Right, it was filling up the Twitter feed and Facebook. People were not happy with that. And they were calling for Puig because he was on the bench.
Our own Joe Butita is at the game. I saw on his Facebook page. And
really?
Maybe Joe could get in and help the Dodgers because
There
they
you
sure
go.
need it right now. But yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. We'll have an update tonight, too, at 11. Big Cal Poly UCSB baseball game going on up in San Luis Obispo tonight. So we'll have an update at 11 for you on that.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right,
Thanks for that,
thanks.
Kevin.